I'm a warrior. Mind like a scholar, body built for pressure, soul built from discipline. Heart never panic, stay hard, stay dangerous. Stand tall through the storm. I don't wait for greatness, I become the form. Yeah. I'm a warrior. Quiet when I move, sharp when I speak, calm under pressure. Victory every week. Master my thoughts, master my habits, master myself. That's real power. Forge the one, forge the mind. Wake before the sunrise, chase the discipline, not applause. Most will lose the comfort long before they ever face a war. Yeah, built different. Every habit got a purpose and a reason. I don't wrestle other people, I wrestle every week a season. Mind like a general, every thought fall in the rank. No deserters in my spirit, every doubt walk the plank. Silence on my lips, but my actions speaking earthquakes. Weak men chase attention, strong men shift the landscape. Pressure on my shoulders, good, throw another plate. I ain't never asked the furnace for an easier fate. Book stacked beside the weights, knowledge feed the mission. Every page another weapon, every chapter sharpen vision. Study wisdom, study failure, study leaders, study lives. The strongest weapon in existence still reside behind the eyes. Chess moves over checkers, thinking 5 turns in advance. Emotion don't command the mission, logic lead the dance. The loud reveal intentions, the quiet reveal command. Power without self-control never stays inside your hands. I'm a warrior.
And little do we know, we're warriors. I know we ain't carrying the mantle appropriately or correctly these days, but that's what it is, man. They didn't seem to bring back the whip, man. You know, they just brought back the paperwork. DEI gone, affirmative action gutted, and while they're putting themselves on the back, patting themselves on the back for restoring merit, watch the numbers. Black unemployment climbing while everybody else holds steady, with only one in this position. You know, that's not by accident. That's not by accident. All right, let's get this shit straight, you guys. You know, that's not the market either that's correcting itself. That's a system recalibrating, going back to a baseline it was always comfortable with to begin with. Keep us down while they stay up. Bring in anybody to help them do that, to accomplish that goal. That's what's happening. Because here's what nobody wants to say out loud. These or those programs were never a gift, you guys. You know, they were never a bare minimum response to what was taken from us. Everything that we built coming out of that situation, they took it. They took it. And now that the minimum is inconvenient, they're rolling it back and calling it fairness. This ain't new. Not by a long shot, man. This is the old order. Same playbook. That's what's happening, you know? This is the same blueprint. Redlining had a new name. Urban renewal had a new name. Now it's efficiency. Now it's colorblind policy. You know, when it was us rising, when no color blindness is about stopping us from rising. That's just what it is. A different suit, same hand in our pockets, though. And it's not just Washington. It's the boardrooms quietly shelving the pledges they made in 2020 with Trump. All right? It's contracts that dry up the second nobody's watching. It's the same extraction, historically and presently, just repackaged for a news cycle that's already moved on. So tonight, we're not talking about the noise. And I'm talking about that noise that we hear in our communities, you know, all through social media, what's happening on the streets, you know, this buffoonery, all this frivol. We ain't going to talk about that. We ain't going to talk about that. All right? We're not going to talk about none of that, or we're not going to talk about who said what on camera for clout or for who or for what or for the bag. We're not going to deal with none of that right now. All right. We're talking about what's actually being done to us in broad daylight, right in front of our faces, man. Every day. Every day. And we go for it. It's like peekaboo, but nothing changed. You know, he cut you out here, but it's the same get down. It's the same look. It's the same game. That's what we need to be talking about. You know what I mean? We're talking about what's actually being done to us in broad daylight, man, and how we're going for it. You know, I got your nose. My nose, yeah, you know, but we falling for that every time. Every time. Pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. We going for that shit. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. We're going for it as we're being distracted by all this BS we see around us, man. It's not a good look, man. You know? Black first, man. And when we get to that, we'll be able to focus on the focus. Now let's get into it, man. So first and foremost, I just want to say, hey, peace and prosperity to each and every one of you, man. Here I am, and there you are. It's a good day. Let's take advantage of it. Like I said, I want to discuss some of the things that are taking place that we seem to not be mindful of, that we're not focused on, we're not paying attention to. And this shit's more detrimental to us than we think. See, we tend to have this thought process or pattern that everything that happened in our community, our brothers and sisters acting like buffoons, man, it's the real issue. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. What we see taking place is just the aftermath. You know what I mean? It's the byproduct of what they're doing and placing in front of us for us to call ourselves taking a bite of. You know what I mean? Taking a bite out of it. You know we're going to get something from this. Not realizing, man, we're selling out. You know, not realizing, man, that we're playing their game. They got us lined up, man, like bowling pins. They ain't even knocking us down, man. We don't even see the bowling ball coming, man. We just sat up like that, you know. We think it's all good. We think everything is in order. We can't be knocked down. You know, that's a mistake. That's a mistake, man, that we shouldn't be making. Before I get into this shit, man, I got a lot of shit, man, I want to drop, man, tonight. That is referring to everything I just talked about, man. See, like I say, it's a bigger picture, man. None of this shit is by mistake. Not none of it. Everything we see going on, social media, man, how we act towards one another, the weed, the drink, the food, all this shit is by design. That's just the way they play it. Real spit. They line it up just like that for the purpose of overcoming us. And we're falling for it. We're falling for it, man. Like I said, we bowling pins, man. You know, that's the truth of the matter. Before I get started, let me send some shots out, man. I see you up in here, Alonzo, man. Hey, man, peace to the RGC and Bub and everyone, family. I hope is all is well. Likewise, peace and prosperity to you, Zoe. Good to see you up in here. What it do, Bo? Yeah, 3E, what it do, man? What it do, good brother, and to another good brother, Big Bub, man. What it do to the UTG Live, the best live podcast in LA, RGC. Salute to the kings and queens. B1 Black First, y'all. Focus on the focus. And like I said yesterday, what I will repeat from yesterday today is Black First. That should be the filter. That should be the filter, man. And if you can't make it through the filter, it's no good. Think about that, all right? Black First, man. Appreciate you up in here, Poke. You as well, Lonzo. You say, man, what up, Poke? All right, sending shots out to Poke, man. Damn. Same hand in our pockets, man. That ain't changed. That ain't changed, man. You know, blueprint, playbook, still the same. They haven't created a new one, haven't written one. No, man. There's not another one in production. It hasn't been revised. It's the same get down. It's the same get down. Henry Sadello, man, what's up with you, bro? Say salute, brother Bub, man. Blessings and one to everyone. Likewise, bro. Peace and prosperity to you and the fam, bro. Good to see you hanging out with us again. Post say, Lonzo, man, for the people that get up every day with their heads held high, don't ever stop fighting for your personal space. I got something for y'all today, man. I don't know if y'all gonna appreciate it coming from me, you know what I mean? But like I say, man, I've said in the past, and I stand on this. There are things in play, man, that I recognize, that I accept, that none of us have any control over, you know, especially in the spiritual sense, you know what I mean? So I found something today, and I found it enlightening, you know what I mean? Enlightening. I'm going to share that with you guys, man, and y'all tell me what y'all think in terms of that piece. And it should be the first piece, maybe the second piece. You let me know what you think, though, Poke, especially, but you also, Lonzo. I need your take on this, bro, for real, for real. All right. Poke says, Lonzo, man, for the people to get, okay, I just read that. Lonzo said, man, thank you. These devils stay trying to a brother, trying to keep a brother down. I get you, bro. You still at work, Poke? Get it in, bro. Put that earbud in there, man. Let's see what it do. All right. Queen and Zinga say peace and blessings to the Royal Group congregation. B1 equals black first. No, man, don't tell me I forgot my water. Damn it. 1 second. All right, appreciate that, y'all. Hold on. Let me do a little switch up right quick. Warrior. All right. Appreciate that. All right, all right, all right. So yeah, there that is, man. Let me jump up in here, man. Let me drop these clips because I think they're pertinent. They're important to see. And well, I can speak for me. I got something from it. I was handing some jewels today, man, and I pocketed them. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I kept a little bit. I want to get some of that to y'all, man. Let me get rid of that. No. Okay, let's try this one first because I think it's good. Hold on. Stop that. There we go. All right, here, check this out. And that's what I say about us as a people, especially in our communities. We the only one that ain't got we ain't got an idea. You know what I mean? We act as if we don't really know what's happening. Everybody see what's happening but us. And they love it. It's the same thing with those who empower, the oligarchs, the billionaires who run everything, man. And as long as we keep acting like we don't see what's happening in terms of what they're doing to the water, to the food, to everything. As long as we keep acting like that, they're going to keep doing what the fuck they're doing. Now, let me place that back at the feet of us. As long as we keep acting like we don't see what's happening, that we don't see we're under attack from people from everywhere, man. Not just the system, but by way of the system, these people are proxies. They do the system's work for them so that we tend to think that, oh, it's the Mexicans, it's the Indians, it's the Jewish people, it's the system. Again, though, as long as we continue to act like we don't see what's happening to us, that shit gonna continue.
For the fucking world that we live upon, the grounds that we walk upon, the God-given earth that He's given us. We want to stand for our resources.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Resources, yet we want to keep hating each other. We want to stay in a debased mind and keep hating each other. When are we going to stop and do something about it? Hey, I gotta.
All right, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I just realized I didn't bring that thing into play. You know, that's a common mistake I make, man. I got to get better with that.
Good, quick question. When the fuck are we going to riot? When are we going to actually stop and detach ourselves from these materialistic world and stop having a debased mind and actually use our frontal lobe and actually stand for what is fucking right? When are we going to do it? How many innocent children have to fucking die? How much blood have to be shedded? How many children have to starve to death? Huh? How much do they have to brainwash and manipulate the fucking youth? What? How much? How much? How much fake food do we have to eat? How much jobs do we have to have? How much poison fucking water do we have to drink? Huh? For us to fucking actually do something. We like, it's like all the foreigners, everyone that's outside of America know the evil that is happening in America, yet the American people choose to support it and choose not to fucking do not a goddamn thing.
Now, that's the part I was talking about, especially speaking to the Black community. Again, we seem to be the only ones that don't realize what's happening with us, what's taking place. You know, everybody else, they get it, you know, but we're lost in the bullshit we're lost in, you know. I think that's a mistake, you know, that's detrimental for us. Now, that being said, you know, at some point, though, you know, we know what they're doing. We know what's being done, and yet we continue to participate. I say this often enough. Until such a time we stop playing their game from their playbook, that's when we start to begin, or that's when we begin to see things change. Until then, this shit gonna remain as is. And no matter what we say or how we go about doing shit, if we don't say it together and do it together, and I mean us as a people, be one, man, we stuck in this trick bag, man. Oh, we're playing by their book, you know, we're playing by their playbook. It's some facts, man. Those are facts, you know. Let me give you this, man. Let me give you this, though, man, because this is, I think, also pertinent. There we go. All right, let me get you up in here, man. I'm a warrior. All right, where my shit at now? There we go. All right, let me drop this, man. Now, this is well, y'all should know who this is, man. Y'all should know exactly who this is. Listen to what he's saying.
Gas station, Detroit, Michigan. Arabs now own 144 in a black city. Blacks own 2 gas stations out of 146. You own nothing. The rest, the hotels and the 7-Elevens are owned by Indians. Asians are owning the laundries. They're owning the hair and wig shops, the nail shops. Blacks own nothing in a 90% black city. And that's why now Detroit went into poverty. That's why it was declared bankrupt, because blacks had money. Blacks had about 11 or 12 billion a year annual disposable amount of money passing through their hands. They were going out to the suburbs, spending it in the suburbs and spending it with the Arabs and the Asians, the Hispanics and everybody else. And when I tried to put in a plan there for black folk, they said it was racist for me to try to help black folk. They said, yes, Dr. Anderson, we admit in this town that we have an Asian town, a Chinatown, a Pole town, a hockey town, a Cork town, a Mexican town, and a Greek town, but it's racist for you to try to do something for black folk, to build a black town. And guess what?
I think that's more or less our conditioning. You know, a lot of us look at it like that. You know, we talk that stuff, but nobody really putting in the effort or work to have a black town, you know, especially in LA. You know, again, I was saying yesterday, man, we're so fragmented and fractured all. I mean, we're everywhere where there's no hub. There's no place of unity where blacks know that they can go and it is a black environment. It's black culture in terms of what culture really is. You know what I mean? See, sometimes we get caught up on a lot of this stuff we call it culture and it ain't really our culture, you know. But anyway, we don't have that. Now, he's talking about Detroit, and yet this is what we experience also in Los Angeles. And I'm pretty sure in a lot of other states all over this country. Where's Blacktown? Where's that location, that place where we come together and we generate funds, we circulate funds to build our base? We don't have that. And that's a problem. That's a problem.
The black leadership said, they sure is right. And if you want to find out if I'm telling a lie or not, you got blacks sitting right in this auditorium that was there. You got right here on the front row, 2 here, you got Rosie Milligan that was there and spoke in Detroit. And I had over 1,000 blacks come across America and say, we will move and relocate our business to Detroit to build a black community, a black business district. We'll move our businesses into Detroit, over 1,000 of them. And guess what? The town got scared and fighting. And they told black folks, now it's racist to come in and not include everybody and everything.
That's another thing about us, man. I tell y'all what, again, we're gung-ho when it comes to one another and standing up to each other and fighting tooth and nail against one another. But when it comes to someone else telling us what not to do and what to do, we're meek. You know, I was saying this yesterday, we're appeasing. We placate, you know, we bow, we kowtow, you know, but as soon as one of ours say some real shit to us, we all up in arms. You know, I think that's conditioning. That's indoctrination, man, in terms or in the sense that we've been conditioned to the point where we don't know any better in terms of how to come together, how to build things together. They love this shit. They love it. Imagine, man, we stop this gang plague. That's what it is, you know. And we started, our brothers and sisters started to come together and become conscious in terms of what they need to do for themselves and their families in this city. I think the businesses will come out of the woodworks. Black businesses. Black businesses. But see, we ain't got to that point. So black businesses, they're looking for places that are viable, where they can make money. And, you don't have that here, man. This ain't no different than Detroit, maybe even New York, Texas, you name it. There's no black town. There is no black town where blocks upon blocks, streets upon streets, all the businesses are all black. Nah.
And so that ended that effort. And so that's why Detroit failed. So what I'm saying to you is anything that's happened to black folk in this country is not by accident. You all have to understand today that you're locked into a social construct. That social construct was put in place almost 300 and 400 years ago. You're locked and boxed. You're locked and boxed. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you that nobody else tells you. You're locked in box because of the United States Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. You're locked in box. We got black leaders can't figure that out. In this country, that in the Constitution, which was approved in 1789, it says that this is a white nation.
How many times I have to say this, man? But you ain't got to listen to me. Dr. Claude Anderson, more prominent, you know, more out there, you know, famous person, black man. He's saying what a lot of us have said. This is not for us, man. But we're led to believe, we're conditioned or indoctrinated with the belief that this country is for us. The Constitution is about us. It concerns us. It involves us. And it doesn't. That piece of paper says it loud and clear. This is or has been established for white people. That Constitution also has in it that we are only 3/5 human beings. Do research. So anytime, for me, I'm speaking for me, I see black people gung-ho about a whole lot of things that don't really matter, that will not serve us. I mean, it looks good on the surface. Go vote. We could change it. It don't really work like that. That's not in place for us. It's not there to do us justice or to involve us, to you know, enable us to become prosperous. That's not it. And just based on the historical layout of everything, especially, you know, coming out of slavery, what we accomplished and what was taken, it was being said the government supported those people coming and tearing all that down because we had no rights relating or relative to the Constitution. I've been saying this shit, but see, this the game we play. This they playbook, and we, for whatever reason, think we got action in this playbook. This playbook concerns us. It involves us, and it doesn't. It doesn't. The only thing stopping a lot of us from separating ourselves from this system or participating in that playbook is the fear of what we're going to do once we back up. How will we survive? So a lot of us tend to say, you know what, I'll accept all this evil, all this discrimination, all this racism, you know, the systemic racism, you know, white supremacy and all that, man, just to be comfortable. That's the problem.
The first immigration law in 1791, spell it out. It is a white nation for white Europeans and other white people classified as white. And blacks are going to be a permanent underclass. You will be classified as 3/5 of a human being. You will be classified as property. You will be classified as property and 3/5 of a human being.
This is why Asians, Mexicans, Hispanics, whatever, act the way they act towards us, because they read this shit. And they taking it to heart and mind. Oh, we ain't nothing but property. We're not good for nothing but consuming, helping. We're only good to help them become richer. We're good to do the work, give them our money so that they can put their children in school. They can buy property. They can prosper way quicker than we can. And we've been in this country way longer. This is what I've been trying. This is what a lot of us have been trying to say. Y'all think it's some more shit, man. No, man. They functioning based upon what they've been told about us. And for any of y'all to think that you could change their minds, man. Again, here's this situation where if you think you could change their mind, take them from this thought process that they have, in order for them to get rich, they got to step on our backs. If you think you can remove that thought process from their minds, you're mistaken. Because the system tells them this is the way you come up. I'm just saying.
You would not be permitted to do things that everybody else could be permitted to do. Got 146 gas stations in Detroit, Michigan. Arabs now own 144 in a black city. Blacks own 2 gas stations out of 146.
And we here in California, LA, own what? 1? Maybe 2 also. They Ain't by accident, man.
You own nothing. The rest, the hotels and the 7-Elevens are owned by Indians.
What do you say? We own nothing. But we traverse through this place, man, these streets and shit like we own them. Like we the cock of the yard. We ain't got shit, man.
Asians are owning the laundries. They're owning the hair and wig shops, the nail shops. Blacks own nothing in a 90% black.
We own nothing, man. I just want to stress that point, you know, in terms of what's really going on, in terms of, you know, how, well, this is how distracted we are. This is how blind we are, or how willing we are to allow ourselves to be chattel, to be slaves. There's no other way to put it. Some of our own people go into the halls of power. They think they sitting high and fine. They high and mighty. They lackeys. They bootlickers. Lick spittle. They're doing the work of the master. They have no better position than us. They're just, you know, in place because they use a good ninja. We want you to do this. We'll give you a house. We'll give you a check. You know what I mean? Get out of line. We'll take it all from you. This is the makeup of a lot of our people, even on the ground level. Our brothers will go and work with the enemy, Adam 12, and all these people. YouTube, social media, and put out toxicity, poison to the people just so that they can be accepted and get a check, to make themselves feel as if they're doing better than a whole lot of us. Got to see the big picture, man. Got to see the big picture, man, because this is what's happening. This is what's going on, and we want to act like we don't see this shit. But it's here. It's right in our face. Now, this for you, brothers. This is what I want to drop right here. And I just found it interesting, man. I thought it was interesting as all get out. I did. I found this interesting. All right, where the hell is it, though? Ah, man. All right, let me go find that thing. There we go. Okay. Okay. That ain't what I want. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me find this thing. I'm a warrior. Make your day. No. No. Yes. All right. Let me see if I can grab it now. There we go. Ooh. It's trying to be hard for a brother. All right. Check this out, man. I found this to be powerful.
Here is to wake up the people.
And around, let me give y'all a little context. This podcast is called Jew Talk. JEWTALK. Jew Talk. I don't know the guy's name, but you know, no, I take it back. The podcast is outnumbered, I think. But just listen to the content, and you know, you take from there. You know, you decide.
People, yeah, your people, right? You're special people, right?
Right,
because you're different than me, even though we have the same blood and everything else.
We don't have the same blood. Well, DNA.
You're somehow different.
Yes,
you're special. Better. You're special.
I'm better. The Bible said, Deuteronomy 7:6. It says,
Jesus said, "Preach His gospel to every creature."
Wait, before we get to that part, Deuteronomy 7:6 says, "For thou art a holy people, that God chose thee to be special unto Himself." Does it say that about the children of Israel?
Why do you think He said that?
And it says, "Above all nations." Did He say that? Before we get to why, does it say that?
Sure.
So if it says that, then it's not I that think I'm special. It's God that think I'm special.
Okay, so who was your great grandfather? What's his name?
And that's one of the things they fling at us. They throw back at us. Who are your people? Where'd you come from? You know, knowing damn well that our heritage, our lineage has been erased. you know, intentionally erased and removed. This is one of their tactics. You go into certain circles and you start talking to people and say, oh, I'm with the one, and my family go back, da, 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 da. And they ask you, where'd your family come from? Who was your great-great-great-great-grandfather? Knowing damn well the game that was played, you know, the erasure that was put down, you know, the burying of lineage, you know, of societies, people, you know, heritage, identity. They know. But that's one of the things, that's one of the main things they'll throw at you. Where'd you come from? You know. The way to beat them, though, is asking where they come from. Who was your great-great-great-great-grandfather? And what part of the land did he come from? If they're being honest, they'll say Europe. Never was what they want to call Israel, anything like that, you know. Never had a Hebrew attachment to it, you know what I mean? But that's the game they play.
That guy still here that says strive not after genealogy. You see that right
Oh,
there?
no. I'm asking you because that's what you're pandering to. So I'm asking you, do you even know the name of your great-great-great-great-grandfather? Do you know his name?
Your ancestors made sure I don't know.
No, you don't know the name of anything. You know nothing. In fact, you think you know something because you have little bits of pieces that you've pulled from history and you think it's relevant. And you're like, oh, but that's the story that a bunch of people that were in power gave you. No, so they gave you a story that you don't even know that's true.
I'm going to tell you one of the mistakes we make too. We go and sit down with these people. And I've said this before. We should never do that. We should never do that. You know, here these people are with hundreds and hundreds of years of a head start on us. And yet this is still what they resort to. What that tells you, or what it should tell any of us, what it tells me is that that's a no-win situation. That's their trump card, you know. You know, that's just, you know, that's how they get out. That's really all they got. But it's strong. You have to admit that. I can't go back and tell you 400 years ago who my paternal on my paternal side, who that individual was that helped, you know, that brought that male line forward or that female line forward. Yeah, I can't, you know, and that's what they use against us, you know, and they use it because I think that a lot of them think, okay, this will help implant inferiority into them. You know, it'll make them feel insignificant, less than, you know, inadequate. That's the game they play. And that's why I would never consent to a situation like that. Nah. You know, nah. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction to even hit me with that one line.
That people in power gave me white Jesus.
No, the people in power
told me all nations God love. People told me God was all. The same people that murdered my ancestors told me God loved. That's what the powers that be gave me. It was the humble people. It was the low people. Zephaniah 2:1 says, gather yourselves together, O nation.
Look at the white boy in the back. See, they hate it. They hate us, man, with a passion.
I desire. The nation that was not desired is who told me who I was, gave me my identity, gave me the laws of God. So whereas y'all are
what
slaves
makes you think
to
you
sin,
know history?
What history?
You think you know history?
What history? I never said I knew history. What history are you talking about?
The history to determine what you are, what you think you are.
The Bible gives me my history.
How does that connect to you?
So, for example, in Deuteronomy 28:68, when it says, "You shall be brought into Egypt again with ships, and you shall be sold for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." The word Egypt means what?
It's Egyptians, the people of Egypt.
What does the original name is Matazarium or Mitzrayim.
Yeah.
Why is it Egypt? Because Egypt means bondage. So the Lord punished the children of Israel with a bondage that they would never get out of by ship, the transatlantic slave trade.
And Jesus set you free.
Absolutely.
So then why are you still sitting here in bondage, bro?
I never said I was in bondage. I said what was prophesied. When did I say I was in bondage? You're looking at a free man.
No, you're not, dude.
You
bro.
know who's in bondage?
Do you keep
a black man that would sit here and try to save you as you hate him?
No, dude.
That part. I wouldn't do that. You're like, man, I'm not giving you no credit on nothing. You know what I mean?
Call me brother.
Yeah.
A slave would acknowledge and say, hey, brother. A free man would say what? You're not my brother. Because you're
That's
not.
a free, no, a
like you're the
disrespectful
one
man
that's
would say
nothing
that.
to me.
A racist, disrespectful man would say that.
Man that the Bible says, hear not a prayer of the dead Israelites. My dead ancestors would hate me if I called you my brother.
Damn.
So your goal here is,
damn. Now I gotta take that, man, to heart. I appreciate I caught that. I hope y'all like that part. That was some, yeah, that was fire. As far as I'm concerned. My ancestors would hate me for calling my oppressor, my enslaver, bro, a brother. I ain't doing none of that shit. I don't do that shit. If you're not melanated of the melanated persuasion, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, man. And that's part of our problem. You know, I think that's part of our problem. We don't focus, you know, and I've said it time and again, be it as it may, I don't consider myself religious, more spiritual than anything. However, certain scripture, I think applies, because I think there's a lot of truth, you know, and righteousness in scripture. You know what I mean? It clicks, you know? So yeah, that part for me, man, said and meant everything. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call you my brother, man, if, you know, I understand your capacity, and, you know, you understand it by way of how you behave towards me. We're not brothers, man. Not even close. Not even close. Got one more, man. What is it? No, it won't be him again. It won't be you. Now, this is important. See, and I'm saying all this for a reason, man. When we get to talking about how we act towards one another, how we focus in, we hyper focus on each other and what we say and do with one another or to one another, but we turn a blind eye to all those who talk out the side of their necks, who lied to us in our face about we cool, we this, we that. Man, a lot of us fall for that shit. I mean, a whole lot of us fall for this shit. Just recently, we saw a situation where a brother, you know, coerced another brother to apologize to some people, man, that don't deserve apologies. Because that's, you know, that's backwards, man. Especially apologizing to a people that look at us, see us, and address us in a certain way. Nowhere in the world we should do this. They're not our brothers, man. Not when they act like that, you know. They don't deserve respect, you know. I'm gonna give y'all this example right here. This California. I don't care, man, what part of the state you in. This to get down, man. This is the get down. Y'all probably saw this, but I'm gonna show it anyway. I'm gonna show it anyway.
Oh, it gets worse. Antioch, California is where we find ourselves. Imagine you buy a new home and you move in. You're excited about your new home, your new life, your new neighborhood.
What's wrong with that fool tongue, man?
Neighborhood, and it's this whole new chapter. And then this is your neighbor. This is what you get to deal with on an almost daily basis.
Now, this is a sister he's doing this to, that he's verbally assaulting. You know, First Amendment freedom of speech don't include this. You can go to jail for this. This hate speech. You know what I mean? But this is a sister who has to endure this from these people, and a lot of which will call us brother in our face, but behind our backs, we monkeys, we ninjas, we mayates, a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not fooled by none of this shit, man, and neither should you be, you know?
I'll see you in court, bitch. And you know what? I can't wait for the judge to see that you're lying about everything. Every black person thinks they're a Christian. Oh.
Yeah, he said, fuck every black person who even think they're a Christian. Yeah.
Look at the monkey. Look at the monkey knows how to use a phone. Yeah, you don't. You don't. Don't. Tattoos and the stupid piercings. This black bitch thinks she's some lawyer. Like all you monkeys, you think you're lawyers. Ah, bitch. You. You. Go ahead. Show the judge, because you know what? Ain't illegal, bitch. N-I-E-R. You and your black boyfriend.
There's so much more than that. Mostly just him repeating those same things over and over and over.
I'm wondering where the brother at. He had to be at Gilmore's, you know, at the Slave, you know, because sometimes it's the only time when them dudes feel emboldened. You know, they catch a sister by themselves and they try to go in. Now, I would like to think he, you know, was preoccupied at work or something, you know, rather than in the house peeking out the curtain or behind the door, you know, because we've seen some of them too. You see them all the time, you know. I just saw one today where a state trooper beat up a sister, and this is like in the last couple of days, and 3 brothers in the car with her. One trooper let him punch on this sister, man, and they didn't do nothing. They just stood and watched. One stood on the back of the trunk of the car crying, and I'm like, I'd rather die first, man. You know, now if I'm just knock you out, handcuff your ass, and wait for your boys to come and say, hey, man. Someone was recording the whole thing the whole time. Not either. Now, normally we see these brothers, they coward asses. They rather record than protect and look out for sisters. That's what a lot of them do, especially in Los Angeles. A lot of our brothers, man, are, you know, just cowards, man. You know, they looking for a viral moment. You know, that's the excuse. But the truth of the matter is they just cowards, you know what I mean? So they grab their phone instead of grabbing a stick or a bottle or a rock and cracking a mug in their head for disrespecting our women. But someone else recorded it, man, and it's the most shameful thing I ever seen, man. But this is how they get down.
Over and over again. And here's the thing. The woman who this is happening to, who recorded this video, she went to the courts for a restraining order, and it was granted. She was given a protective order, and I'm told that this video was recorded after that. So when he says it's not illegal for him to say those things, he uses those words. Yes, it is. It's a violation of the protective order. But even if there wasn't an order, it's still illegal. Hate speech is not protected speech. You're attacking someone and harassing them over their identity. Woman, gay, black. That's a crime. And I got this sent to me a ton this weekend with people going, we have to find out who we are. We know who they are. Marianne Ramirez, allegedly, his mom, and a coordinator at Lowe's. Johnny Ramirez, allegedly his father. And then this charming gentleman is Gabriel Ramirez, according to those involved. And there's a protective order that doesn't seem to be doing shit. So to the police department there, what's going on? Because I'm told no one in the neighborhood likes these people, that they're just a problem for everyone. So they're violating a protective order. I think you could, you know, do something about that and give them new housing.
Bitch.
Now, what's going on is the system, again, y'all, we participate in a system, man, that's systemically racist. There's systemic racism all through the system, man. They don't give a damn about us. That's really what's going on. You think the fucking court's going to protect any of us against this type of shit? No. That shit is allowed so that they don't have to do it. You know, they got a history of doing it, but now they can keep their hands clean in a lot of respects. So they hire all these immigrant types. They hire Mexicans, certain Latinos, Asians, Indians, you know, Ukrainians, you know, the Ish people, you know, to come and, you know, carry on like this. They ain't got to do it no more. They ain't got to do it. But now one thing did occur as a result of that. These brothers got together up north. I don't know if I got all the video, but I want the one where they pulled up, they escorted her home, and as they were doing it, dude and his mom and them was pulling up in their driveway. They're right next door to each other. All these brothers on these Harleys and shit pulled up, you know, gang of them. You know, parked all in front of their house, got off their bike, stood, and, you know, the boy had nothing to say. Not a damn word, you know what I mean? But they went a step further, man. They, you know, they presented the sister, man, with a lot of love and respect. Let me get rid of that. Let me drop this, man. And this is these brothers, man, trying to comfort this sister. And we don't get enough of this, man, in our communities, man. We don't see enough of this. That's the sister that he was talking to. Yeah, that's what's up, man. We don't see enough of that. We don't see enough of that, man, especially for our sisters. And I know of them a lot of them are hard to deal with, but still, those are our sisters. They, in a lot of ways, are our future. You know, again, I ain't seen the damn dude. Where's your boyfriend? You know, I'm just curious. But man, this is what's up, man. This is what's going on. While we stuck on stupid, we got people doing this type of shit to our women and our children. And we tend to not, you know, be present for that shit, man. Or if we are, we ain't got nothing to say. But again, let a black man say something crazy, then it's a problem. It's a problem. You front and center every time. We got to get beyond that, man. We got to get beyond that. You know, if not, again, man, you'll see more and more of this. More and more of this, man. So I just thought about it, man. That made me think that, okay, man, you know, what are we not doing right? How is it then that, you know, we're more than willing to disrespect each other, harm and hurt one another, but we ain't got that energy, you know, that fire, man, for nobody else? You know, especially knowing the climate we're in, you know, the environment that we're in. Our young brothers and sisters, man, you know, it's always about each other. Them, you know, that energy is directed and reflected, you know, towards each other, one another, but not towards anybody who would be out of line in terms of how they address us or interact with us, man. That's a problem, man. That's a problem. You know, real shit, man. Nothing nice. I hate looking at that shit, man, but it is what it is in terms of it is what it is means, man, we need to be mindful of this shit. We got to be mindful of this shit, man. Lonzo say, man, they bullying all the fams. Zillow buying all the houses, recalling everything. They really trying to put the squeeze on us. They ain't trying. You're right, but they ain't trying. They're doing that shit. They're doing it. You're going to say, man, where the video at? I just played it. I hope that was good enough for you. Chris say, Bub, man, I thought you were having a brain freeze. No. I'm all right, homie. Lonzo say, man, we know the devil doesn't want to see us come together. Everybody got to know that. Nah, man, everybody don't know it though, Zoe. Everybody ain't even concerned with what being put down or what's being utilized against us to keep us down. A lot of our brothers ain't even aware, man, don't want to be. You know, I was saying last night, man, I think there are two schools of thought exist here, man. We got brothers that who are legitimately ignorant, all right? And then we got that other school of thought where brothers like, I don't give a fuck. Ain't my business. It ain't got me fucking with my bag. It ain't fucking, I don't care. You know, some of these brothers would even don't care to the extent where the women in their family being pimped, abused, and shit like that. They don't care. You know? So again, man, we can only go so far when we're pointing the finger at others in terms of, you know, the mess and the evil that they just, you know, put out there for us. On the other hand, man, we got to start looking at ourselves, man, at what's wrong with us mentally. You know, yeah, there's trauma, man. There's all kind of shit in place, man. But the fact of the matter is a lot of this shit fall back on us. A lot of this shit falls back on us, you know? And I'm looking at the sister, man, you know what I mean? She, you know, all right, nails done, she's cute and everything. And I'm just thinking, this is what I know for a fact. Back in our day when we were growing up, and I'm not implying anything. I'm just talking about what I'm observing. Our women were strong. They would, you know, they ain't gonna be none of that crying stuff. They finna get cracking. In fact, some of them would have went over that gate. Because once you do that, you assault a person racially, it's a crime. Hey, man, that's your defense, you know. But I'm saying what I want to say is a lot of our sisters, as strong as they are, they can be stronger. They can be stronger. I'm not saying that you don't have the right, or they don't have the right, man, to, you know, emote, you know, to feel like, damn, man, I work, I pay my taxes, I love this country or whatever, you know. They got bar rights. They can, you know, think, feel, and look at it that way. That's fine. But a lot of our sisters, I think, man, are in positions, they aren't as strong as they should know themselves to be, or as strong as they should know they can be. Even when that shit like that come out at them, you know? Even when shit like that come at them. Now, I'm not saying again, man, that she don't have a right. She, by all means, she has a right, man, to, you know, just damn, you know, feel messed up about that. But again, man, hey, get up, hey, man, get over that. Because it's a whole lot of that in this world, especially in this country, you know. And just try to imagine that every day. I mean, what it's going to do. It's going to do one or two things. It's going to make them or break them. That's what I mean by toughness. Toughness. See, because if you let that shit wear on you like that, that shit's liable to break them. And that goes for a lot of our brothers are broken. This is why we see the behavior we see in them, especially when it comes to our sisters being protected, being looked after and respected. They're broken. And some of them in such a state are broken and so they can't be repaired or fixed. That's unfortunate, you know. But, you know, that's some fuck shit, man, to see that sister go through that. Whether she crying or not, I feel for her. Like, damn, man. Take her back to that fool head, man. Just, hey, man. Let his mama feel that trauma, that pain, that hurt, you know. See how she hold up. It's fuck shit, man. I hate looking at this shit, but I think it's all for a reason. All right, what's happening, Fat Rat? I see you up in here, bro. You say peace to you and RGC, Big Bug. Right back to you. Peace and prosperity, bro. Good to see you. Lonzo said a couple of dollars always break the group up. That's just it, too, bro. I mean, you know, nowadays, a couple of dollars, they'll call that a bag. They'll call it a bag. You know, and they'll stand on that shit. You know, A lot of these dudes, I'm telling you, man, I mean, you can envision it if you really want to. They could see one of our women in distress, and I think out of fear, they'll pull their phones out first before they go to assist that sister or be willing to take one for that sister, to defend that sister. They'll pull their phone out first. That's what a lot of our brothers do. I've seen it. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. First thing a lot of our brothers do. They don't support our sisters, man. You know? But to see them brothers pull up, I got it. There's another video when they pull up on our home. And hey, man, you know, crazy part about that is that area, those homes are in the HOA. And the HOA ain't saying shit. You know, I don't know. Neighbors may hate them Mexicans and shit. They may. But they ain't doing nothing about that shit. Again, I ain't seen her man. She's supposed to have a man. What the dude say, where your boyfriend, your black ass boy, yo. So yeah, you know. Yeah, man, this is sad shit, bro. Farrah said, man, there's plenty of areas where blacks own the business in Detroit. Well, and I would take it, you would know more about that than me, because you know, I mean, you know, present or whatnot. But I think that when CLOUT Anderson was talking about some shit, I think he was talking more so to those services that blacks cater to the most. I think, you know, you know, stores, gas stations, beauty supply places. You know, if only 10% of our people have businesses in a chocolate city, that's a problem. If all the 7-Elevens and gas stations, you got 146 of them, Fat Rat, in Detroit. If 144 are owned by somebody other than black, then what is that? That's not plenty. That's not plenty. You know, if the 7-Elevens, let's say 95, 96% of them are owned by Indians, that's not plenty. Not for a chocolate city. You know, if the beauty supply places, the nail tech places, where they buy the sisters buy all the shit they use and buy to beautify themselves for whatever reason, are mostly owned by Asians, we can drop it to, let's say, 60%. In a chocolate city, bro, that's not plenty. You know, so I mean, I'm just speaking to the point Dr. Anderson was making. And the crazy thing is, that's all over this country, bro. That's all over this country. You can go to most spots where blacks are, where there's supposed to be black hubs, you know, black communities. The majority, let's be real, bro. The majority of the businesses are owned by people other than black. Why is that? That's the point I want to get to, bro. I mean, even if, let's say, those who are not black in the city of Detroit or anywhere else has 60% of the businesses in a chocolate city, why is that? Why is that? You know, if they got 60 and our people got 40, that's not plenty. In other words, that's not enough. That 60% of people who aren't of the melanated persuasion, that money is going to them and their people. They're taking that money out of that community and they're shifting it, they're moving it, they're wiring it to other locations, you know. That's what it is. Plenty, if you ask me, especially in the chocolate city, would be the black people own 75 to 80% of the businesses. But again, yeah, we know that's damn. That's, that'd be difficult. It'd be hard to find that, right? There's a reason for that, though. There's a reason for that. Most of our brothers and sisters, they aren't of the entrepreneurial mind. You know what I mean? The mindset. They aren't educated enough to, have a business, run a business, keep a business going. Most of them are caught up, man, in these social constructs that exist to keep us out that space. That's why. That's why you can see any chocolate city or black hub, for the most part, that is predominantly, in terms of business, predominantly ran by people other than blacks, because our people are being distracted and redirected towards shit that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. There aren't enough of us, in that space. And everybody knows this, man. Everybody know this shit, except for us. A lot of us can't express why we don't own businesses in our community. A lot of people can't even express that shit. Don't know where to begin. They're just facts, bro. Most of our youth are into what they into, and it has nothing to do with the future of our people. It has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. It has nothing to do with building generational wealth, leaving legacy. It has nothing to do with any of that, bro. So we can see why. Be it Detroit or wherever, man. Most of the businesses in our communities where we stay are ran by people other than us. That I don't think that's not an exaggeration, bro. Not by a long shot. That's the reality. And again, this has been going on for decades, before the 80s, before the 70s, probably before the 50s. Come on, man. What has been offered to us is incarceration, miseducation, drug addiction, trauma, a lot of crime, But, no, most people are not going to build nothing from that. What occurs is we get stuck in a certain mindset in terms of how not only we see ourselves, but what we contribute, to those around us, our communities, man. Most of what we contribute to our communities, man, is detrimental shit. It's negativity. And again, that's not by mistake. You can call it what you want, CIA, U.S. government, NSA, whoever. That's part of the playbook. The shit we see occurring in our communities, it's not by mistake. We say this all the time, man. The distractions are plenty. There are more distractions in front of us than there are opportunities for us to be entrepreneurs and business people in our communities. Think about that. You don't have to agree, but think about that. We're putting out what we're getting. And that's just, I think that's the truth of the matter. That's not to say, man, that brothers and sisters in Detroit aren't entrepreneurs, that they don't have businesses. No, of course not. It's to say that they don't regulate, run, or have established the majority of the businesses in a chocolate city. That's what I'm saying. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson is saying, which I tend to agree with. But again, you can go to any city, any state that has a city that has a majority black population. The businesses, man, that are being run, and those are not black businesses. No. No. And if there was such a time, there was actually such a time when the black businesses were plentiful, what happened? There was a concerted effort. There was not effort. There was a plan to shut those businesses down. And that's what happened. You know, starting from the banks, lending, you know, government grants, you name it. Removed from the loop. Shoved out of line. Come on, man, that's the reality, bro. That's the reality, you know. That's the reality for us. Polk said, man, don't hate me for saying this. The Willie Lynch letter was meant, has went from the cotton fields and now has seeped into the gangland. We talk about the gangs being black soldiers, but the only thing that has evolved is the hate. Yeah. And, you know, I don't disagree. I tend to think, though, again, we were talking about this just last night about the effort that needs to be applied, that needs to be put into effect, that actually would mean something, that would make a difference, is not being applied. It's not being put into this fight, you know. It's not. So these young brothers, man, and sisters, for the most part, they'll never know, man, their true calling or what a purpose should really be about if they're not being, you know, if they're, in some instances, not necessarily forced, but pushed to understand the greater good, man, of what a purpose or what a person's life could present, not just for himself, but his family and community. If they don't know no better, man, if they're not, you know, they're not laced, you know, if it's not mandatory that structure and discipline becomes, you know, the thing of the day, hell, man, what the hell they care about that? You know, I think, though, that with work and effort, they will realize that shit. It's no different from when the Panthers went into communities or when the Nation of Islam went into communities and they encountered brothers who were hard-headed, who had their minds made up that this was the life for me. I'm a hustler. I'm a part of a gang. I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean? I'm a criminal, whatever. Mindsets, man, were changed. They evolved. That shows, man, with effort, us applying ourselves to this cause, man, we can make the changes necessary. That's what I think. You know, you don't have to agree with it. That's my opinion. You know, and part of that, you know, if we look at it historically, like I said, man, we've had organizations going to our communities, man, and some of these communities were downtrodden, were dilapidated, were just, you know, there was no purpose. There was no confidence. It was just all inferior, man, from the buildings to the mindset of the people. A lot of that changed for scores of them, just based upon the willingness to involve, or, you know, people, brothers and sisters, involving themselves in the lives of those who a lot had figured or considered expendable. You know? I think that they are our soldiers. They just don't know it. They are our soldiers, man. Needing training to become warriors. That's what I think. You know. Lonzo say Baltimore and Atlanta got black businesses. Yeah, but look at what's happening, bro. And I tend to try to keep up with that. that, I don't know if you can call it a business model, but how they do down there is being infringed upon. Now you got more Mexicans going down there and other Indians, and they trying to get a foothold. Not trying, they're getting a foothold into the economic apparatus. You know what I mean? The businesses, they're starting to spring up. You know, and that's being allowed. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, you know, there's something that's being, you know, made available to them. Because again, man, so you got to look at it like this, man. You have to. We have to consider it. We should consider it. They're not trying to have no more black nothing Wall Streets, nowhere. And anywhere they may think, or they think that something of that nature is occurring, come on, man, they're going to figure some shit out to where they're going to dismantle all that. I recall, man, thinking about Atlanta being a chocolate city, right? This maybe a decade or two ago, decades ago. And this is not disparaging or disrespectful to nobody, but there was no LGBTQ shit down there like that, like it is now. I think that is a detriment. I'm just me speaking, you know what I mean? That's a detriment, you know, but there's more of that now. And because that group, they bring in people who are not of the melanated persuasion. They get a foothold. Shit happens. You know? All this shit, man, is by design. That's just my take on it, man. My opinion. And I think that in some respects, my opinion has some validity to it. You know, it has some factual shit based upon what we know to be facts. Well, let's go, man. I'm telling you, man, this is what they do. What they do. They'll be quick to set up 5 businesses, man, in one district. See how they go. Put products in there, hire blackface, whatever the case may be, man, to get customers in there. And so customer loyalty, man, becomes this thing where it is only sold based upon prices, right? One of the main things blacks say about blacks is, oh, man, we charge too much. Doors open right there, bro. I'm just saying. Yeah, Atlanta, man, is also a chocolate city. Maryland, Baltimore, DC, though it's not a state, so to speak, you know, predominantly black. Though it's where the seat of power is, but still. Make you wonder, though, how many black businesses are there? When them politicians come out of the Capitol or wherever and they want to go for lunch and all this, in the heart of DC, man, what businesses are catering to them? Who is running those businesses that cater to them? I'm just saying, it's that type of shit. But again, man, the problem isn't necessarily that other people, you know, they might see, you know, I mean, a gold mine, you know, opportunity to make some money in the community, That ain't the issue. The issue is how the people see their community. That's the issue. How do people see their community in terms of, okay, this is ours and we're going to take care of it. We're going to build it up. We're going to make it everything it can be. We're going to make it so where another entrepreneur of another persuasion comes in and be like, we can't do nothing here, man. They got it on lock. That's the issue. That's the issue. I don't care if they got government subsidies, man, grants or anything else. If the bank is willing to give them 10 times what they asked to start a business, it wouldn't matter if the mindset in the community is of such where, oh no, man, we on lock here. There's no open storefront to begin with. You know, There's no land development that they ain't got a hand in to make sure that, you know, you get it? That's what I'm saying, bro. But because we don't think like that, that's the door being open for them. Over here on Vermont and Manchester, they're opening a Valhalla, I don't know the name of that damn Mexican store. Right there, smack dab on the corner. And I said to my wife first, damn, how's that possible? We ain't had no say in this? Of course not. Of course not. I mean, you know, I answered my own question, but yeah, of course not. Because that's not how we think. We don't think in terms, man, of taking care of our community, man, owning our fucking community, home. And when we don't think like that, as a result, we lose everything in it. Others come and appropriate it. They begin to sell us our shit. That's what's happening, man. You know, there aren't plenty of black businesses where they're supposed to be, period, point blank. Why is that, though? I'm pretty much answered it, I think, but that's why. That's why. If we were in tune with our communities, if we loved ourselves and the people in them, us, there couldn't be a demolition of a family structure of a house that was in this community for 5 decades, getting torn down, and then in its place you see a 2 or 3 story apartment complex that's owned by somebody not even from the community. You wouldn't see a Valhalla or whatever that story is springing up on the corner of a major intersection if we had concerns about our community. So again, I think we just claim that shit. We don't really represent it. It's all cap. This is why we see what we see in our communities. This is why most of the 7-Elevens, if not the majority of them, are ran by Indians. The gas stations ran by Indians. The nail shops, the wig places, the beauty stuff ran by Asians. Fast food joints ran by everybody but us. No, man, I just tend to think that, you know, this is only happening because we've allowed it. You know, in spite of what they do to keep, you know, us down, or in spite of what they do to bring others to stand on our backs and prosper, you know, off us, you know what I mean? You know, in spite of that, still, we allowing this shit. And this is why we don't have true representation in our communities. This is why politicians, man, don't give a flying flick about none of us. You know? This is why they're willing to let the immigrants come in, the Mexicans, the Asians, whoever, and then pad, you know, the voting ranks of, you know, the voting rolls with, you know, immigrants and shit. Displace blacks, not just in politics, man, but in society. This shit is happening, man, because that's the way it's designed, and also because we allow it. Our own politicians don't give a flying flick about none of us, man. Our own people. And again, that's just in politics. Go to our movie stars and celebrities. They can give a flying flick about any of us. Our athletes, they don't care about us. They don't care about the communities they came from. Very few. Very few. And if ain't a dollar in it for them, they ain't coming back. Straight up. They not coming back to invest or nothing. Now we got those on our level, what I call the ground level, the floor level. Same shit, same mentality, same attitude, same get down. Working with the people, working with the program, playing from the playbook. That's what it is, y'all. No, it ain't enough chocolate cities, but that's our fault. That's our fault. You know, in spite of everything that's being worked against us, it's still our fault. That's what I say. When you drop your opinion in here, let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about it. Poke said, man, was that had a kid, bub, that spoke in that video? If so, it hits different because who can change what he said? Which one was that? Was that had a kid, bub, that spoke in the video? If so, it hits different because who can change what he said? You talking about the person that was in the car speaking? That was a sister. That was a sister, if that's who you're talking about, though. You know, in a lot of respects, what she said was solid. And again, a lot of what she said was, I think, just indoctrination. You know, being off code with a lot of shit. I trust that, man. And if the world is to really change, if the world is to really change, if the matrix is to be broken, it starts with us. We're gonna be the ones that break it. No strategic alliances with nobody. We can't trust anybody, y'all. We have to develop our script, our plan, our mode of attack. And we got to be on that shit, man. Like we on everything else, be it sports, acting. We want to be the best at that shit. So it's done in such a way that, yeah, it actually changes the world. It actually changes the world. I think that's our purpose. For whatever creator, man, however that design is, for Saul, for whatever, we're the ones to bring that about. That's what I think. You know, you want the world to change? That's on us. And it ain't gonna happen unless we do it. You know, I've said that time and time again. I stick to that. I stand on that. Farrah said, man, hell, Black August. No shit, man. Black August. Yeah, we got a lot of brothers, man. Marcus Garvey, man. Huey. You know, sending these shots out, man, to our brothers, man. Yeah. Hell, Black August, man. And all blood sacrifices in the liberation struggle of the people. Straight up, man. Thank you for that remembrance, that reminder right there, Fat Rat. Yep. This is the month, y'all. Poke said, man, sending us blacks back to Africa has always been the white man's plan. They have made it almost impossible to achieve any stronghold to further our well-being. The truth has always been there. It's just that we care about what they don't. And I think that's another problem we have. Sitting up listening to these people talking about where they're gonna send us. You know, trying to tell us where the hell we come from. Man, we come from all over this mug, man. We from all over, man. We from all these, all of them. All of them. Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, all of them. Where you gonna send us? The fuck you talking about? Can't send us nowhere, man. We're where we supposed to be. And I'm not saying that occurred or that happened because of slavery. I don't too much trust all that shit. You know, not to say some of it or it didn't happen in some aspects of, you know, of ways. I'm not saying that. I don't trust the story in terms of how they giving it. I'm not saying it's all false. I'm not saying it's all true. But you can't send us nowhere, man. We where we supposed to be. That is by design and not theirs. You know what I mean? Our brothers in Africa, they where they supposed to be. Our brothers and sisters in Australia, that's where they supposed to be. Our brothers in South America, that's where they're supposed to be. Our brothers in Asia and anywhere else that diaspora is, that's where they're supposed to be. Our people got to be on all four corners of this thing, man. North, south, east, and west. Like I'm telling y'all, man, it's on us to bring change to this mug, man. Because if we don't do it, it ain't going to happen. And we got to be everywhere we supposed to be. You know? Every location, we have to have a hub. Every location. If that's one whole state, so be it. We'll function from that. If that's one whole country somewhere, so be it. You know? Straight up, man. We're where we supposed to be. They can't send us back nowhere, man. They didn't send their ass back. No, we send their asses back. We send them back where the hell they came from. And that's not a mystery. That's what should be happening. That should be the discussion. No, you leave. In fact, we'll send you back. You know. Lonzo say, yes, we are very different. No doubt about that, man. You can't know why Opie say that we the same. You was a lie. You the devil, man. None of them could ever convince me we're the same. Just on the surface, we're not. You dig? Hey, just on the surface, we're not. Not just our pigment, man, but our features. We're not the same. I get what they try to say. That means jack to me, man. We're not the same. Yeah. Okay, Lonzo said, man, yes, we're very different. Ask me how I know. Okay, Lonzo, how do you know? Drop them gems in our hands, man. How you know, bro? You're going to say the devil always redirect the question when they can't handle the truth. You noticed that, right? Oh, boy. And the boy sitting in back of him, he was just as bad as the one sitting in front of him. You know. You're going to say, man, I couldn't let no Peckerwood talk to me like that. Unbelievable. But that brother was composed. He was composed. There could have been more. He could have said more. He chose not to. You know, he said, the clear person said a couple of things I didn't like. And, to the brother's credit, he didn't react to it. That's cool. You know what I mean? He cool. He couldn't trigger him. He couldn't get him out of place, get him off balance. And that's, I appreciate seeing that. So that was a lesson for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, that was a good look. You say, Lonzo, Bub, it's easier to find out than you think. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, but you know how it is, Zoe. Again, man, we've been convinced, brainwashed, man, indoctrinated with so much misinformation, miseducation, that for the most part, a lot of us believe that it is a task of a lifetime to find out things that are right in our face, that we can get in a matter of minutes, hours, or days. You know what I mean? But we're conditioned to the point where we think, man, that's the hardest thing in the world. I'm guilty of that sometimes, So if I say, hey, man, I couldn't tell you who my relative or my ancestor was, or it was 400 years ago, I'm not lying to you, And not only that, I wouldn't know how to go about doing that. And damn, all this stuff they talk about in terms of DNA tests and all this shit, I don't trust none of that shit. But, I'm just speaking truth to power. Ain't got nothing to hide, Fat Rat say, man, Malcolm, Farrakhan, Khalid, Nuri, just to name a few who straight up handled the mediator and the audience, did not play with him. And they knew. I just watched one with Farrakhan and fuck, what's that dude name? He's a Jew too. Not Ed Bradley, he's a brother. This dude used to be on Nightline 60 Minutes, 2020, something like that. He had a son that's into journalism as well. Got up there, got to talking all this crap, man, you know. And Farrakhan sat there, just cool, calm, collected, let him speak. And he lit into his ass, man. He lit into him, saying, how dare you? How dare you try to tell me, or tell our people A, B, and C, and you guys are the one that, man, I'm telling you, classic shit. Malcolm, same way. Malcolm be sitting up there like this. And yeah, you know, you get to that, man. Beautiful shit. Beautiful work. Artful. Artful, man. Yeah. Artful. Lonzo say, man, I like the captain. He started on business. You stand, all right? Yeah. Henry say, man, coward won't do that to a man. He is a bully. Real spit. But again, I have to ask, where was the brother in this? Her mate. You know, I would try to be in control, you know, but there's no way another day would have went by and there had not been me being able to speak to this guy. You know what I mean? And I like to think that about most brothers who are men. You know, oh, I'd have had me a little lawn chair in my front yard waiting for him to come outside. Hey, man, let me talk to you, man. I already know what his antics would have been, but, you know, I need to talk to you, you know. Hey, come on, man. Man. Yeah, them cowards, that's what they do. And they are emboldened when they do it around a brother and he don't address it. You see that quite often too. But I have to admit, in most cases nowadays, I'm starting to see in the last few months, brothers and sisters ain't too much going for a lot of that shit. So that's good. That's good. Need to see more of that. Don't see enough of it. We see what we see, you know, when it comes to, you know, what they call Karens and shit, you know, people trying to be disrespectful. They FAFO. That's good look. But we also see, well, I do, brothers putting a black eye in the game. And I can't help but think if that had been a brother with a red rag on, a blue rag on, or orange rag on, or, you know, any color rag representing it, boy, they would have been all in, you know. Wouldn't have been no pulling out phone trying to record that. They would have been all in. Yeah. Lonzo say, man, I ain't going to get no restraining order. I promise you. Yeah, real spit. Real spit, man. And that's some of what I mean in terms of our sisters. Our sisters, you know, need to be, you know, like I said, I can recall my mom going to the dojo, karate and shit, and then us learning that shit. You know what I mean? You don't got that no more. You don't get that no more. Nowadays, our sisters, they just go to the gym to get their glutes up. You know? They had their spandexes all up in, you know, the V between their legs, you know, recording that shit. They not going to get this physical training to learn how to build their strength up, you know, and that type of thing, man. So, you know, I don't know, man. That and again, that's what I meant earlier when I said back in the day, you know, our women were stronger. Like water off a duck's back, that type of talk. Okay, now bring it. He would have been all kind of WBs and Bs and, you know, like bring it. Why you over there talking? Come on, you know. Real spit. You know, our sisters nowadays are wrapped up in this there are different aspects of them, man. And, you know, and most of them aren't pretty, if you ask me, you know. And I'll pretty much leave it at that. But, you know, I think it would be wise or behoove a lot of them to go and start training, physical training, learning how to grapple, learning how to fight, learning how to defend yourselves against more than one assailant. You know, I think that's imperative. I think that's necessary. Know how to throw a punch, man, and lean into it, man. Know how to move around. And rather than, no, man, move, you know. I don't know, man. Our sisters, again, man, when you see them, for the most part, they got the spandexes on, the biker, what we call biker shorts or whatever. And they pulled all the way up into them, butt cracks and, you know, the vulva or whatever. And they doing squats and they looking at the, you know. Man, that's so, there's such a disservice to yourself, you know. You're going to be in that space, you know. Or they, you know, they all dolled up and pretty and, you know. I don't know, man. This is what the system done, though. This is in how we fed into it, not just us, but our women, too. This is what's going on, man. This is what's going on. Yeah, man, hit them thumbs up, soldiers. Hit them thumbs, that like, man, that share, everybody. Subscribe. This is Under the Groove Podcast, y'all. This is where we keep everything above board. You know, we ain't sugarcoating nothing, man. We're going to be respectful, man, but we're going to speak truth to power, man. That's what we're here for. It don't cost you a dime. Lisa Moore, what's up, Queen? She said, Grand Rising family, Black first. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good to see you amongst us. Peace and prosperity, you and your family. Folks say, man, I'm driving, but I'm sending mine to the Kings for a show at Lisa Mo 5 Trey. There you go, bro. There you go. Fat Rat say, man, the woman is man's field to produce his nation. Absolutely. Yeah. If we are wise, we are aware of what grows in our fields, and we are protective to kill weeds and foreign strains that threaten the beauty and stability of our field. Teach a man, teach an individual, teach a woman, teach a nation. There it is, man. Those are the gems that we see, you know, we want Fat Rat to hand out, man. You know, real shit though, bro. That's real spit. This is why she must be protected. We protecting the nation. We protecting the future, man, of our people, man. There's by no means, man, nowhere in the world, any of our sisters should be subjected or have to go, not just from others, man, but from us as well. From us as well. I was a young cat, man, and I'm gonna share this briefly. And I'm doing this respectfully, no disrespect to my brothers. I recall as a youngster, a few times, you know, he wanted to put his hands on moms. You know, and I can hear the ruckus, and I can hear my moms, you know, in the middle of the fucking night, man. I'm in the 2nd grade, 3rd grade. I get up, man, and I start crying because I can hear my mom in distress. And I go wake up my big brother there, man. You know, nah, fuck that. I ain't know no better, man. I ran kitchen, got a butter knife, man. I was on the attack. Feeling like my mama, man. I've always been like that. Took that woman, got one on chin, back of the head, whatever. So, but every time he looked for me. Yeah, man. It's my mama. It's my mama. You know, I'm not having none of that shit, man. My wife, man, you know, women in our family. And sometimes we drop the ball, you know. Sometimes we let our women down, man, by not being their defenders, their protectors. Sometimes we excuse individuals, man, for transgressions, man, that we shouldn't excuse because of who they are. It's the sister, it's the mother of the nation, the people, you know, our field, man, that they have to be seated, man. We got people, we got things happening here, you know what I mean? At all costs. And even at the cost and or extent of relationships. We got to protect them, man. We got to. I dropped the ball once, twice. I don't feel good about that shit, you know? Because I didn't deal with it like I should have. Because I'm thinking about a relationship, man. It's lifelong. That's my mistake, you know? But our women are to be protected at all costs. At all costs. If they say they're being threatened, they've been harmed, they feel that we got to protect them, man. Take them at their word. Take them at their word, man. You know, we got to defend them, man. The woman is man's field to produce his nation. I'm going to say our nation, you know, our future, but that's fine. If we are wise, we are aware of what grows in our fields, and we are protective to kill weeds and foreign strains that threaten the beauty and stability of our field. Teach a man, teach an individual, teach a woman, teach a nation. Appreciate that. Gonzo said, man, because we have no wealth, our inheritance was stolen. That's why. Fat Rat going to say, man, black-owned grocery stores, gas stations, beauty supply, even franchises with their no good asses. But blacks own them in a lot of cases. The question is rhetorical, I imagine. But the ultra critics are typically unplugged at the grassroots level, where we have to focus. We have residentially based local farming, etc. Business is warfare, bub. I don't doubt it. I appreciate what you said also. And again, that's not a, you know, I don't have to explain it, you know, because I'm aware, you know, what actually is taking place. I just often think that it should be degrees higher, way more. The percentages should be, you know, out the roof. You know, that's just me. That's just me. But business is warfare. We were saying, or we were talking last night about warfare. So a lot of us got that concept of warfare wrong. We tend to think it's planes, tanks, and guns. That's it. That's what a lot of us think, for real. Warfare is many things. It's almost all things, depending on how it is executed. You know, how it's put into effect, how it's put in motion. We've been in war, and I've said this, you know, for the longest time. And I didn't mean just economically, you know, I didn't mean just physically, you know, them stringing our brothers and sisters up, man, feeding our babies to, you know, animals and consuming us even, you know what I mean? There's all kind of wars being waged on us. And one of the most prominent ones is economic or economical or financial, no doubt. Another is educational, no doubt. Societal, you know, political, you know, just all kinds of warfare. But for a lot of us, we don't get that. We just tend to think one, you know, we're one track minded when it comes. We think of warfare in one way only. You know, pew, 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 you know, bombs and planes and shit like that. Nah, man. I think that's the last resort, you know, in terms of warfare. So great point, Fat Rat. Business is warfare. No doubt. Queen and Zinga said, yes, I just watched her in a movie, The Dating App, and thought she was looking old. Who's talking about? Queen and Zinga. Did I miss something? Who you talking about, that guy? Dating App, and thought she was looking old. Well, hopefully you'll put that in there. I'm not pretty sure who you're talking about. Okay, anyway. Damn, where'd that thing go? Okay, there you go. Yes, Queen and Zinga said, yes, I just watched her in a movie, The Dating App, and thought she was looking old. I still don't know what you're talking about. Pope Mitchell say, preach, bub, man. You know, this is the thing. I hope y'all listening to Fat Rat. Shit. And Alonzo. Shit. Alonzo say, you right, bub. I put out BS. And now that's what I got. Yeah. You know, we all have. Fat Rat said, man, I'm specifically pointing to where I currently reside and where my personal activism serves the community I live in. Dr. Lawyer, scholar, or lumpen proletariat. I can help anyone who needs a comprehensive knowledge of where I live. Okay. Well, did I add on to that? Who needs? Okay. Lonzo say, bub, would you sell your house for $2 million? Yeah, I thought about it. But no, seriously. I thought about it. But we have a family, man, and this is our haven. You know what I mean? There's room here. You know, there's more than one structure. So, yeah, man, no. You know, and it was some years ago. It was about maybe 3 years, 4 years ago. And wife say, boy, you crazy. You some shit. I'm like, hey, man, if I want something, I'm going to sell, you know. But she's not. This is, you know, the compound. And she talked with me about it. And I got it. I think for me, it was more of, I was looking to expand the situation, if you understand what I mean, you know. Develop from this. It'd be a springboard and something more, you know what I mean? But I understand that for the family, this is this has become part, especially part my wife and I, part of our legacy, you know, this home. We didn't put everything in this mug, man, you know. Our whole family comes here. You know, holidays, birthdays, just gatherings, you know. Nah, just for them, you know. And you know, we cool with the fact that, you know, our family, hey man, they know they can come here. Like, yeah, hey, now, hold on, with a caveat. You just not come and lay up now. Bub ain't playing that shit, you know. But no, the family for the most part, no. This is the compound, you know. So it's all love, man. This family loves this home. We love this home, you know, and this is where our family comes. So no, I wouldn't sell it for $2 million. If they say, you know, can we, you know, it would be a hard sale. Put it like that. But all honesty, man, no, we've had that conversation, you know. And every time I'm doing like I'm doing now, and I'll be talking, I'll be like, yeah, but we had that conversation now. But this is, you know, this is where we are, man. This is one, you know, just along the way, one stop. You know what I mean? So no, man, no, I wouldn't, honestly. All right, Chris say, man, Bub, bro, anywhere black people go, these other groups follow us. We can't get a break. Yeah, and then again, we are a resource. But again, man, we even look at ourselves as a resource to be consumed. We're consumers of resource. We consume shit, right? That's what we do best. At least that's what they say. We consume $2 trillion worth of our, we spend it every year on shit that we don't even produce. We don't grow, manufacture, or produce. Right? Other people, in their eyes, we are a resource. We're a resource, man. That's why they would follow us. You know, if we went to the damn in the South Pole, North Pole, they would follow us. You know, this is the reality, man. They would follow us in a hurry, and they would come with snow boots, parka jackets, goggles. You know what I mean? Snowshoes, tents. Lanterns, thermal. Man, they would come. I got what you need. They have a sale sign too. Goodbye. You're real spit, man. Lonzo agree. Okay, Fat Rat say, man, a comprehensive knowledge of where I live in its current state. I understand Doc's point as a generalization. I understand Doc's point as a generalization, but that's what I sought to escape when I left Cali. And just from the sound, or just from what you put out there to us, Fat Rat, I would take it as you found what you were looking for. You know what I mean? You take that, your departure from there, it panned out to be for the best, So more power to you, bro. More power to you. I had wanted to move to Arizona, actually. I lived in Mississippi. Actually, I wanted to move to Mississippi, go get some property out there. I still do. I still do. We talk about that, and also, another spot down south, but grab some land, man, and set up, Yeah. Lonzo say, Bub, they gentrify black business districts. That's what they do. Again, man, that's what they, look, I was trying to get an example. So when you talk about DC, for instance, and I've seen it enough in movies, you know what I mean? On news channels, news, clips and, updates or whatnot, where they're in DC. And again, you have to know that DC, man, that's Chocolate City. Also, they're in DC, but the businesses, and they're all around. Restaurants, flower shops, pubs, you name it. Blacks aren't the owners, though. For some of the best clientele in the country, blacks aren't the owners of those establishments. Why is that? Why is that, man? What it do, James? Say, Bub, what's going on with it, man? Everything is everything. Good to see you up in here representing the CPT, bro. All love and respect, peace and prosperity, you and the fam. Good to see you again, bro. Yeah. Right back to you. All right, no reparations, no vote. Some of us think YT people, ice is colder. Yeah, the grass is greener, that type of get out, right? No doubt. Quite a few of us, their ice actually have a better taste to it too, It makes the glass colder, the water, yeah, man. Yeah. That's what we're up against, man. That's the mindset, sad to say, of a lot of our people. You can't tell them their shit stinks. You just can't. You got some of them on YouTube too. You got about like 5 or 6 of them, and they go in. No matter of fact, you have 7 of them. They tell you in a minute, man. YT people ice is colder. What you talking about, Ninja? You lost your mind, you know. You got a whole lot of them. All right, James, say love you, big bro. Love you back, bro. Real shit. James say, man, if it ain't blackness, it ain't right. All right, no reparations, no votes. Say, man, fried chicken and fish ran by them. I meant to mention that earlier. In LA, fish fry joints, you know, shit of that nature, man, aren't even black folks no more. I'm telling you what I know. I remember all the way up until I left the streets on that case in the early 90s, early 92, man. There were black fish joints in the community I come from. I don't see them no more. I go through there, they're not even there no more. A couple of them that I've seen that I know exist around there ran by Asians. I ain't went back to the place though since all this shit started. I promise y'all, I ain't getting them mugs nothing. I mean that. But yeah, man, shit. Soul food restaurants, man, shit. You can find them almost anywhere. Not no more. Not no more, man. You got franchises cooking up the chicken in waffles now. You know, you got the Asians frying the chicken, cooking the greens now and the cornbread. You got Mexicans doing it. You know, and that's not to say, you know, that was our staple, that, you know, but, you know, man, people, come on, man, don't nobody do it like us. They wasn't on that shit like that, man, till they came across us. Black-eyed pea, fried chicken, some greens, some candy yams, some corn muffins. You know, the whole hookup, man. Friday, man, I can remember, man, shit, man. We went, moms and auntie them, moms and Gussie them, man. They go to a fish fry joint, man, or soul food joint, get that dinner, bring it back, man. We chopping it up, man. It's all good. Fridays, that was mandatory. That was mandatory. Now, no more. Everything is gentrified. They say, hey, they have a soul food place here in LA that is very, very popular. It's owned by a white lady. Real spit. Real spit. And the blacks frequent that joint. You know. If I had it like I wanted, I'd put one right next door to her ass. And had the best soul food cooking sisters and brothers in that joint I could find. You know? Peach cobbler, vanilla ice cream. Hook it up, man. Hook it up, man. Sock it to me, cake up in that thing, man. Some banana pudding, what they call it with the vanilla wafers in that banana. I don't eat it no more, but that was the thing back in the day as a kid. Upside down pineapple cakes. I bet how hooked that shit was. I'm just talking, y'all. Yeah, man. James said, yeah, and guess what, bub? Them same people running those stores always greet others, but never me or my people. I don't get a hello or how's your day going. I just get a cold, racist stare. Mm-hmm. We know. You know, that's what it is. That's what it is. I have to admit, though, when, you know, because from time to time I'll go in a certain store. I'll look them in the eye and that look be like, I expect you to speak, you know. Yeah, I'll just say it, man. Because I think that's just respectful. You know what I mean? You know, and if I think that, okay, this is discourteous, this is unprofessional, I'll walk out. Yeah, I ain't got to have words with you. I ain't got to argue with you, nothing. It's my money, man. I got to spend it with you, man. You know. And see if the next Mexican want it, the next Asian want it, the next Indian want it. You know what I mean? You know, Because it's our dollars. We choose who we spend our money with, you know. And this is why we saying what we saying. We spend it with those who respect us. You gotta love me, but you're gonna respect me. You're not gonna kill my people. You're not gonna do the things you've been doing, and we be okay with it. Yeah, so you know. More reparations, no reparations, no votes, say preach, bro. We don't have a community, we have hoods. Big difference. Very vast difference, to tell the truth. And you know, yeah, that's a fact. We really don't have communities. We don't have a community. You guys look up what the definition of a community is. We don't have that. And that's why a lot of us push the way we push. We're trying to establish, we're trying to bring them back. We used to have them. We actually had them. We actually had communities, man. I don't think many exist for us, even in areas where they may be a little well off. You know what I mean? I don't think that solidarity exists anymore. You know what I mean? That being a part of someone who looks like you is a thing of the day anymore. You know, you come out of the house, yeah, all right, you go and get your car, go. You know what I mean? But there are no more block parties, no more, you know, community events, shit of that nature. I can go over 4 blocks and know everybody on that damn street, and they know me. You know what I mean? They know my mama. You know what I mean? They know my brothers. You know you know what I mean? Where we met up at church, which was a part of the community. You know, none of that anymore exists. That's what's sad, and that's what's messed up about us, man. We allowed all that shit to be stripped away. Everything that should matter to us has been stripped away, or we relinquished it. We relinquished it. We gave it up. We let it go. We let it go. For what? Chris says, man, Alonzo, what's up, man? The struggle continues with the ability to bounce back with a better version of oneself. That's what that grand rising is all about, right? Truth to power, man. That's when the ancestors, man, and spirit, and, you know, breathe life into you. Say, okay, wake up now. You know, time to get it cracking. Today, better than it was yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's get this out the way. You know, let's do it in style, you know. Let's do it with some dignity, you know, some grace, you know, respect, some love, some unity. That grand rising, man, is something special, man. It's something special, you know. A lot of us are taking it for granted. A lot of us are taking it for granted. James said, man, them store owners see dollar signs when they see a black man or woman walk into their spot. Yeah, that's what they see. They see dollar signs, and then they also, in their mind, they see that they got to watch us a little closer than they would anybody else, you know? Fat Rat said, man, city planning is available to every citizen. We put $150,000 in a 60-year-old car. Instead of repair our credit, structure a corporation, pool our resources behind a professional business plan, and do business, right? Tell the truth. I would love to pull out a Bel Air, a 57 rag with third wheel on back. You know what I mean? That's the plan, but got a bigger fist to fry, man. Like I say, we got a family. We got a big family. I wouldn't dare do that. I wouldn't dare do that. I just wouldn't do that. Because I'm well aware that there's something more I can do with $60,000, $70,000 than to put it in an old car just to ride around in styling. You know, arm out the window, you know, lean back like I'm the shit. I'd have done something great. 60,000, 60 plus in a lowrider. Nah. You know, most homies, no, I don't even like low riding. If I had, again, the Bel Air in its in time, right? But just clean. You know, I'm not into, you know, hopping and bouncing and shit. You know what I mean? I'm just not, you know. I'd rather, you know, again, take my money. Well, here's the thing. Look at it like this. For those of them or those of you who have them, I like to think that all your other shit is in order. You straight. And that was something you, hey, man, I can do this because everything else, in spite of that, I got this in the pipes also. You know, I invested that this is happening, you know, and as a result of my investments, my business plan, everything, here's a little something I took out, you know, that, yeah, man, you know, I get that. Man, boom, more power to you. If that's not the case, then yeah, we need to rethink, man, what we do with our bread and how we utilize it to benefit, again, not just ourselves, but our families. Our families. See, right now, we just said we don't really have communities in the community anymore. But the reality is our community is our family. Our immediate family, that's the community. That's the one we should build from, expand outward with, you know, creating a larger, bigger, greater community. You know, and as long as you got a family, man, then yeah, man, there are always going to be needs, you know, to be met, you know, things to be done to, you know, again, not just to satisfy, you know, self or whatever, man, but to make sure the family right. And that's not a knock on nobody saying, oh man, you ain't take care of your business. Nah, that ain't what I'm saying. All right. But you know, we see brothers that do that. Real spit. I know a few cats, man, you know, physically, personally, got low riders, and the rest of their shit is like boo to the boo. You know? You know. Okay, got expensive cars, you know, but living in an apartment. You know, go figure. Go figure. All right, no reparation said, man, we must own and control. We don't own enough. And that's my stance. That's what I attempt to convey to the people. Okay, there may be plenty, but we don't own enough. That's the problem. We don't own enough. You know, we're teaching our kids sports over entrepreneurship. We need more owners. Nobody should make money in our neighborhood. We don't even have candy ladies anymore. Tell me about it. I was just talking to my cousin the other day, man. Man, they used to have a fruit man come up the street, brothers. The donut man. Man had a donut shop on the back of his pickup. It was set up. It was glassed up. The best glazed donuts you want, man. Jellies and shit, you know, bear claws, apple fritter. Man, that brother be there, man, every Saturday and Sunday morning early, blowing his horn. The candy lady. You know, come on, man. 5 and dime stores, man. You go in there, man, before you go to school, man. You got 25 cents, man. You know how much money 25 cents, how much candy a quarter used to get you back in the day? Man, you had Now Later, Chico Sticks, you know, come on, man. Jolly Ranchers, not the little candy, not the kisses, but the Jolly Rancher sticks back in the day. Them was about 10 cents, man. You know, get about 2 or 3 of them, man. You have them all day long, you know. I don't know, man. Times have changed, no doubt. No doubt. They're taking all this shit, man. Acquisitions. Fat Rat said, man, acquisitions, and that's an LA culture. Then we have the 602 mentality about how to address socio-political disparities. All right, go on, Fat Rat. No reparations say they can deport us. FBA has blood in this soil. They can deport us. FBA has blood in the soil. I don't think so, man. I don't think they can do that. But, you know, again, you never know. Because none of that shit really applies to us. They just make it look good. You know? Trump just took away what the birthright, you know, so ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. You know? All right, word up, right back to you, Henry. James said, man, you know what bothers me is how you have such a big heart for our people, bub, but across the world in Africa, or our brothers thinking the same about us? Do they regard us as the same? Real question. I think that go both ways, man, because, you know, you got a lot of brothers and sisters here. It's, I ain't no damn African. And you got Africans over there say, they ain't no fucking Africans, you know. All right. Again, man, the diaspora, man, exists for a reason, I think. We're where we're supposed to be. Now, be that as it may, man, I don't think for a second that we evolved right here on North America. No, I ain't buying that for a hot second, bro. We came from where we came from. I don't care how many millennium it was, you know what I mean, or how far removed we are from it. That's where we came from. You know. That's what I say to that. All right, y'all, it's late, man, and, you know, it's all late. O'Donohue. Who is this? A Flick. A Flick said they know our history. They fear us knowing. I'm just saying this. California itself is named after a black queen. Wonder Woman is depicted of her. California was an island of all women. No metals but gold. Absolutely. California also, they say, was an island. You're right. And they, you know, they dammed up the water and created this space. So you're right about that. I've read that actually. Both parts. Both parts. Appreciate you jumping in. As you should know, this is Under the Groove, man. Y'all like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe. A Flick, go and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit them thumbs, man. Show some love on this. Get out. All right. All right, y'all. I got the cut. Been up in here long enough, man. And, you know, I try to keep it peaceful. You know, I get my head brought to me, y'all. All right. But I want to end on this one, man. Fat Rat said, man, if the complaint is a lack of black businesses in our city and we are wasteful in comparison to resourcefulness, you know, resourceful in a collective effort, then it's excessive if you can afford it. Huh. All right, let that be it, y'all. Get ready to cut. I appreciate my time spent with each and every one of you. May the ancestors continue to bless you, keep you in its good graces, or in their good graces, or its good graces. And we meet here again on tomorrow. Until then, continue to love yourself and love each other. Take care of yourself and take care of one another. That's the importance of that, I think. You know, when you got that for self, you pretty much understand, man, how it's supposed to be utilized. You know what I'm saying? That being said, man, power is in the people. We're not trying to get power to the people, man. Power already exists in the people. This is what the people need to understand. It's that part they need to get. Power's in the people, y'all. Learn to utilize it, man. Learn how to hit that switch, activate it. Wake up, man, so we can use it, man, and use it accordingly as it is, I think, has been deemed for us to do. Yeah, we're special. We're better, you know. That being said, man, all love, man. All love. Get a bar of this. Had to play a little bit, I'll cut out. Okay.
Mind like a scholar, body built from pressure, soul built from discipline, heart never panics, stay hard.
Hold on.
I'm a warrior. Mind like a scholar, body built from pressure, soul built from discipline, heart never panics, stay hard. Stay dangerous. move quiet, straight clean. When the war, oh, before you ever see. Natural fuel inside my bloodstream. Every meal intentional. Can't build extraordinary strength, living ordinary principles. Cold mornings, heavy iron, long miles, no excuses. Discipline don't care about emotions, only execution. Pressure changed the battlefield. I adjusted, never folded. Confidence ain't something spoken. It's the proof that I've been molded. Body built to carry burdens, not complain beneath the weight. Most people pray the load get lighter. I become the stronger frame. Pain became my training partner. Failure became medicine. Every setback taught another lesson. Every lesson strengthened discipline. No poison in my habits, no weakness in my schedule. The body is the battlefield, the spirit hold the metal. I'm a warrior. Stay hard, stay dangerous, never comfortable, never careless. Train the flesh, sharpen the mind, strengthen wisdom, unify.
All right. Let me send a shout out, man, to Conscious Mind 1972, man. Appreciate you, bro. That's his work. Y'all go check him out at Conscious Mind 1972. One of our brothers, man, all the way down south, man. All love and respect to you and the fam. All right. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. All right. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love, everybody. Black first.